I'm Debbie Harger, and I organize with a lot of other great people the Silverwater Northwest Birding Festival. And since we are doing a virtual festival this year, we thought we should actually introduce some of the most beautiful and premier birding areas that we have in our area, and one of them is Semiahmoo Spit. And I have Paul Woodcock from Audubon, who has been leading birding trips here for the last 16 years, and Phil Calise, who's also been leading bird trips for many, many years. They know the birds here, they know this area, and I'd love to introduce to you Paul, and he'll tell you a little bit about what makes this area special.
Hello, I'm Paul Woodcock. I'm a volunteer with North Cascades Audubon Society and Wings Over Water. I've been leading field trips out here for about 16 years now, on and off, well, monthly, except lately with COVID getting in the way. But this area is remarkable for birds because of the ecosystem that's here. Either side of the spit, Semiahmoo Spit, actually have eelgrass beds all along them, so it's great for wintering waterfowl. And we are in prime time right now. A little windy and cold today, but it should be a good day to go out and see what we can find.
My name is Phil Calise. I've been here since 2002, and I do lead bird walks on the Spit, mostly up at Semiahmoo Resort.
Gang, are we ready to go out and hit the decks here and see what we can find?
Yes.
Ready.
Okay, so we're headed out to the beach here. This is on Boundary Bay, so we're facing Boundary Bay. And if we take a look out across the bay, you can see Point Roberts out ahead of us. Looking over to the right, we have White Rock, British Columbia. So the border comes right through Boundary Bay here. It's a pretty special place. I'm looking out and I'm seeing GoldenEyes, and I'm seeing surf scoters, WhiteWinged Skuaters. Let's take a look in the scope and see what we can pick up. And these harlequin ducks right here. Ready? Right in front of us. Oh, they just dove, of course, but there's a pair of harlequin ducks. One of our most outstandingly beautiful waterfowl here in our area. There's quite a few buffleheads out here on the water. Again, common GoldenEyes. Usually there's, oops, somebody just flew through here. I didn't get a look at who it was.
Wait, are those all no, those are common.
No, those are common GoldenEyes, the ones with the white sides that you see out there. That white shows up so well in all this light. Okay, here's our harlequin ducks are back to the surface right here, very close in. I was looking before for a common merganser, not common merganser, excuse me. Oh, jeez. I'm looking for a common loon. And I find a common loon out here on the water. Well?
So Paul, oftentimes you can see other birds. Oh, there's something new.
It just came to the surface. Let's see, what have I got here? Oh yeah, there's our common loon. Yes, thank you. I've been looking for that. I saw one over here before, but he disappeared. So we've got a common loon. It's a pretty common, obviously, a common wintering bird here. They don't breed in this area though. They head up either in the interior of Canada or over the mountains into eastern Washington for breeding season on fresh water. Okay, there's a long-tailed duck out here. Actually, it just went down under the water. Let me see if I can find him again. Well, come on in and take a look, and we'll see if we can find it.
Oh, wow.
Great look at a harlequin duck. Debbie, you want to come and take a look at that? I think it's probably moved out of the...
Oh, wow. So right now I'm actually looking at surf scoters.
Great. The harlequins are kind of over to the right a little bit. See if you can find them. Okay, so let's just head down the beach for a ways here. So scattered out here are a lot of glaucous-winged gulls. Not as many as we often see, but glaucous-winged gulls are really common gull around here. Okay, we got a pair of female greater scaup. Scaups are often here. I mean, they winter here in great numbers, and often we have large flocks, but I see just a few today out here on the water. No males yet, but there probably will be more further down the beach, so we'll go take a look.
Are scaups, are they dappers?
They're diving ducks.
They're diving.
They're diving
Okay, so
ducks,
they're
yes.
usually in deeper water?
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, not necessarily, but yes, they would not be on the beach. Oh, there was another common loon out here just now. But... Okay, Phil just spotted some brant out there further out on the bay, and I see numbers of them scattered out there across the bay here, looking at White Rock, British Columbia. Brant winter here in great numbers. They're really specialists on the eelgrass. So these eelgrass beds in here feed the brant. The brant come in, and especially later in spring, as they start heading north, they'll be coming through in great numbers and feeding on the eelgrass beds.
How many do you see out there right now?
Well, I haven't looked across the bay, but they're scattered. I see scattered further out, about halfway across the bay, all the way along here. See a lot of buffleheads scattered out here. But let's head further down the beach and see what we can find. You got anything else, Phil? You see anything?
Not right now.
Okay, so we can go down about where that person is and scope these birds out here before we cross over. This is where there's usually a big concentration. Let's walk past this person so we don't interfere. Okay, we have another flock of scoters here, white-winged scoters, a few surf scoters mixed in, and there's also some pintail in there, which is a little bit surprising. Pintails are dabbling ducks, and we usually see them in fresher water, but they're out on the salt water today with the scoters. Just a few. Let's see, there's about a half dozen pintails in there. I also see a few greater scaup mixed in. Oh, harlequin ducks out there too. Well, I'm just going to scan out here. We haven't even seen a grebe yet, have we?
White-winged scoter or a surf scoter? Do we see the same?
You know, it's roughly the same numbers around here. I think the surf scoter is often a little more common. The thing about the surf scoters and the white-winged scoters is that they're all adapted to feed maybe a little different depth in the water. The white-winged scoter is the largest one. They feed mostly on bivalves, so they go down and they're after the clams and things at the bottom. Bivalves, crustaceans. I hear they eat a little bit of the eelgrass too, but they're really carnivores. But they all are a little bit different in size. The white-winged scoter is the largest, the surf scoter a little smaller, and so they do spread out a little bit that way, and they feed in a little bit different depths and a little bit different species. So they don't compete with each other. That's right. Well, they do intermix, but sometimes you see them very separately. The other scoter Phil and I were just looking for black scoters because sometimes they're here. We see them with, every year there's a few, aren't there? But I haven't seen any yet this year. Anyway, but we haven't seen any out here today, but they're around. Maybe later in the year, or maybe somewhere else. We'll go look. Just to the other shore here, where it's freezing. Is that a seal? I think I saw a seal in the water right there. So there's a flock of brant flying here across the spit. Looks like they're going to go back into the bay over here on the other side. So let's go to the other side here and take a look. And it's a little colder over here. We're walking into the wind, but let's see if we can find some brant out on the bay. So now we're on Drayton Harbor side. This is more fresh water. This is really the harbor, and the spit actually kind of encloses it here. So we have brackish water on this side. Right now we're looking at a big flock of birds on the water, and what I'm seeing is mostly cormorants. There's a large breeding population of cormorants around here, and I see mostly double-crested, and we often get pelagic cormorants here too, but I think these are all double-crested cormorants. And there's my first grebe for the day. It's really surprising. We usually see a lot more. But there was a horned grebe that just dove, of course. The pelagic cormorants here too. And you know, I think the commons always outnumber them. But they feed, you know, they kind of feed separately. You see them in different places. So. And the other thing I was going to say is that the common double-crested cormorant, more common double-crested cormorant, breeds here, while the pelagic cormorants seem to head out into the San Juan Islands to breed.
Okay, so they're not so much nesting in our area. Like
no, I mean I think a few. You have to ask Joe about that, but I think a few do nest in with the double-crested. But it seems like during breeding season they head out, which is why they're called pelagic. I guess they head out to the more open water. Looking into the sun here, it's a little hard. So here's a flock of scaup, and these could be lesser scaup. I'm not 100% sure, but on this side in the harbor we sometimes get flocks of lesser scaup, and that's what they're looking like to me. They do, yep, a little smaller head. I can't get the best field marks, really are a good look at the bill or in flight, but from their shape and size I'm guessing these are lesser scaup. But further out here on the bay I'm also seeing brant. So there's numbers of brant out here feeding in the cold and the wind.
Live, that would be kind of cool because we're just looking at it and they, you know.
Okay, well, I'm trying to figure out what these guys are, but I'm seeing it's common mergansers, which really surprises me. Isn't that a flock of common mergansers? Yeah. And these guys are usually over on the rivers. Maybe they're afraid of freezing up tonight. Yeah, it's a beautiful flock of beautiful common mergansers. Really a bird more of the freshwater. Here in Drayton Harbor, it's a little more fresh water, so they're not out on the marine side. Goodness, these are beautiful birds.
But I'm also seeing is that the cormorants are intermixing with the common mergansers.
Well, there's something going on here. There's some bait fish or forage fish here, obviously, because these concentrations of birds, they're looking for something. Yeah, they're hunting. Although right now they seem to be more on the surface in a search mode. Oh, the mergansers are flying by. Actually, cormorants are flying by them. Yeah, mergansers are staying on the water. I've never seen this many common mergansers here before.
Oh, wow. Yeah, usually you'll see more than two.
Yep. And usually only when it's freezing cold, but maybe they know something. So as we're walking down the spit here back to the parking lot, we got a little flock of passerines. There's WhiteCrowned Sparrows. There's house finches, and I saw a song sparrow here. So usually as we walk up here looking at marine birds, we scare up the passerines that are in the shrubs and all the detritus here on the side of the bay. There's our song sparrow. We got some ducks sitting on the... Oh, we've got some gadwalls sitting here. Yeah, that surprises me too. No, I'm sorry, I'm wrong. They're pintails. They're all tucked in. Wishful thinking on my part. Okay, we're here on the shelter at Drayton Harbor, and we were just watching a small flock of golden-crowned sparrows here, which is basically a Alaska and Canada breeder that winters here in great numbers. So they come and join our white-crowned sparrows here, which are closely related. They're in the same genus, and winter here, and sometimes treat us to this little song, quiet, laid-back song they do in wintertime. Oh, Pam, can you describe that song?
Sure. A white-crowned sparrow, generally, you can hear it when you're driving by at 35 miles an hour with your car windows up. But a golden-crowned sparrow has a much quieter song, and it kind of goes, "I'm too tired to sing, sing, sing." So
we're further north on the Spit now, and we're actually going to walk past the boat harbor here on Drayton Harbor and out to the end of the Spit behind the resort and see what we can see looking north toward Canada. So here we go. It'd be nice to see some black oystercatchers, wouldn't it? Lots of GoldenEyes here. There's always lots of common GoldenEyes. No barrows though. Barrows GoldenEyes are here in the boat harbor. We'll look and see if we can find them. I haven't seen many this year, so we'll see.
Not as many barrels GoldenEyes?
Yeah, I don't know why. They haven't been around here this year. As far as wintering grounds, they like really sheltered water.
Okay.
So you can find great numbers of them in Fairhaven, right in Bellingham. There's some flocks there, large size, large flocks, 30, 80. I've seen that many there, and so maybe because this winter has been so cold and blustery here, they're in a little more sheltered spot. But they like really quiet water and.
Oh, I hear a kingfisher.
Oh, there goes the kingfisher across the water. Is it not?
Well, I heard it. It must be. See if it is.
No, that's
It's not. No, it landed.
it landed.
Huh. I heard the kingfisher.
I thought I heard the kingfisher rattle too. Well, wait, no, I'm hearing black turnstones. That's what we're hearing. Yes. Now, where are they? So there's black turnstones here somewhere on. Well, look at all of the wooden debris and stuff all over the floats here at the harbor.
Oh yeah, look at that.
And then there's a whole lot of glaucous-winged gulls. And beyond that, all of our cormorants. I guess maybe those were the ones that were in feeding. Yeah, they're over there. So there's young of last year in there in immature plumage. And I'm looking for pelagic cormorants mixed in.
So Paul, what do you look for when you're looking for a pelagic cormorant rather than a double-crested? How do you spot them?
Really the pelagic cormorant is smaller, but that's not always easy to determine.
Okay.
But especially the shape of the head is the head is much smaller.
Okay.
And they have a pencil-thin bill that just comes out. It's about the same length all the way, and there's no yellow on the bill or on the face. So I mean, really, even in flight, you can tell the pelagic cormorant because the head is not much thicker than the neck, so it really is quite noticeable.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to see if I can find some pelagics out there. But well, we're also finding dunlin and sanderlings out here on the floats along with the black turnstones. You can hear those turnstones. Yep.
There's an oystercatcher.
Oh, where is it?
On the dock.
Okay, well done. So we got a sighting of a black oystercatcher. Yes, there it is. A black oystercatcher. That's a good bird for the day. In there with the black turnstones. Hey, I found a pelagic cormorant on the water, Debbie. If you want to come and take a look. It's actually on the water. It's swimming. It's hunting.
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
See that bill? That bill
yes.
shape is distinctive.
Definitely. Yes.
Yeah. If I can find the oystercatcher again.
Right by the green rope.
Oh, okay. Yes. He's hiding behind the green ropes to me from where I am. Yeah, there's sanderlings. Yes. What nice collection. Good work. So we're just looking at this flock of gulls out here, which all seem to be, whoop, I see something that looks a little different out there. I see some black wingtips. Whether they're hybrid gulls, they got their heads hidden pretty well here. But you see mixed in all the different ages of the glaucous wing gulls. The juveniles are all fairly darkish brown, but they're a 3-year gull, so you get variation. Then you got some that have the gray mantle and still brown in the wings, and those are the 2nd-year birds. And a number of adults. And I do see a lot of darkish wingtips out there, so we got one female Barrow's GoldenEye down here. If you take a look at her, whoop, she just dove, but she's got an all yellow bill, kind of orangey yellow, very pretty. Well, there's one common loon out here on this is on the still water, so you can get a pretty good look at it right up against the boats over there. And also, what's that? It's a big, yeah, that's a big bird. Heavy bill, kind of angular head. Quite easy to determine that it's not either a red-throated or a Pacific loon. We also have those around here, but we haven't spotted any today. We'll keep looking.
You talked about their bones and feathers?
Oh, we haven't talked about that. Do you want to talk about that?
Yes.
I can talk about that. Common loon is the only bird that has solid bones. Every other bird has hollow bones. So they're very heavy for their size, and they're very beamy like a tugboat. So they're very stable in the water. They also have this, and I learned this from Paul, this ability to hold air in their feathers and compress it so that when they dive, all they have to do is sink kind of like a submarine and then go straight down. They can dive up to 250 feet deep.
Goodness. Obviously for food.
Yeah.
And you see them do that. You'll see them actually sometimes swimming along with just their heads out of the water. Other times you see their bodies above water and they're looking, their head is under, searching, looking for fish. But they can just sit on the water and then suddenly just drop out of sight. They squeeze that air out. Down they go. But this is often though where we find the Barrow's GoldenEyes in and among the boats. So we've got WhiteCrowned Sparrows. The house finch just took off a little bit ago. And I think another song sparrow in there. But they like the blackberry canes here to hide in. Now, there's a young golden crown. So out here, just a minute ago, I saw a redneck grebe, the first one I've seen today. Usually there's good numbers of them in this area. We're looking across here. This is the mouth of Drayton Harbor, and that's the Blaine, Washington Harbor. And if we look just north here, you can see the Peace Arch at the Canadian border. A very picturesque view with all these waterfowl flying through. I think we got flocks of mergansers here, I think. Looking up at the mast top out here, we got a bald eagle sitting on the tip of a mast. Okay, we're headed out here to the end of the spit. You actually, looking around, you can see there's old buildings that used to be part of an Alaska Packers cannery that was here before the resort was built. So we're going to head out here to the end of the dock and take a look and see what we could find. Wait. I think I see something up on the tower here. Boy, that's way up there. Yes. I'm going to move around here a little bit and get a better look, but we might have a falcon up here on the tower. Yep.
I can see him.
Good. So up here on the water tower, we've got a peregrine falcon. They winter here very often, don't breed in the area as far as I know. But often we've got one here living on the waterfowl around here, spending the winter. It's still silhouetted against the sky. I can't really see very well if it's an adult, but often we seem to get juveniles here. Nice loon right out here, right off the end of the dock. Pelagic cormorant over here. Well, I'm finding a pigeon gillamot here on the water. Still in non-breeding plumage, but it seems to be getting a little darker on the head here, getting on towards springtime. Oh, that's wishful thinking. We're actually out here and it's starting to snow a little bit. Okay, there's more long-tailed ducks. And over here we've got some red-breasted mergansers, a flock of mergansers that we saw fly in earlier. Here's another common loon. We have usually seen numbers of red-throated loons Oh, okay, so we've got some mew gulls flying by here. We usually see more of them here. They're a wintering gull that just is here when they're not up in Alaska and northern Canada breeding. So we also have here on the dock some purple martin houses. Obviously no purple martins on this time of year here, but Phil put these up a few years ago, so you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, the purple martins in the west, they nest in holes, like usually in trees or wherever they can find them, and there's not a lot for them to nest in. So I put these boxes up. And we've had purple martins nest in them every year since.
That's about 3 years now or more? Is it more?
3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Okay, so before we freeze here, I think it's time for us to start heading back. So we're out to the end. It's been a good day. So we're almost back to the parking lot here and getting ready to end our day. It stays cold and snow is making its presence felt here, so it's definitely winter. Thanks to you all for your interest in Wings Over Water and the Blaine Semiahmoo area. Remember, this is an important bird area here in Whatcom County, right on the Canadian border. It's good to have you with us, and come and visit sometime when that gets easier to do. So thanks for your time.